Wow, that game was pretty bad. I just got back from the hospital after being treated for disintegration. My doctor prescribed me a palate cleanser. Now, I didn't have any on hand, so I chose Bible Adventures instead. I don't think I've fully recovered. Today I thought I'd take a look at another one of these licensed games. I mean, I've already died already. How much more dead could I get?
The next one up is Disney Pixar's Up, a game published by THQ and released on May 25th, 2009 for iOS, Xbox 360, Wii, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PlayStation Portable, Nintendo DS, iMac, PC, Leaps or V-Smile, and there might be a version on the TI-83 calculator at this point. But the version I have, and the one we'll be looking at today, is the PC release, and this happens to me more than you think. Yeah, taking a look at the history here that I have with the different versions of Up, the PC list is pretty barren, but a quick detour over to the DS section and we can come to the conclusion that, yep, this is going to be another nostalgia-based review of a game that's over a decade old. Now you might be saying, well, geez Alex, why don't you try to play the game on a system that doesn't have a rancid screen resolution? And to that I say, 1, I can't get this to run on my PC, and 2, come on, this thing's blue. I can't play Up on a system that isn't blue.
But I remember this game being a ton of fun, playing it on road trips, or at t-ball practice or something, exploring massive levels as an old man with back pain. It was truly immersive.
I wonder if it still holds up to how I remember it. The game, of course, follows the plot of the movie, where Carl Fredricksen, a cranky old man with his heart set on adventure, ties balloons to his house and floats away to Paradise Falls. Russell, a Boy Scout that happened to be on the porch upon takeoff, tags along / is kidnapped by Carl on his journey. That journey, however, is interrupted by a terrible storm which throws him off course with fewer balloons, causing Carl and Russell to walk the rest of the way. This is where the game's first level takes place. Up DS is, get this, a 3D platformer. Now where have I seen that before? Oh, that's right. It's kinda strange. This game is completely derivative and almost unique at the same time, being a co-op puzzle platformer of sorts. Carl and Russell both have unique abilities. Carl is an excellent climber for some reason, but can't go in the water. Meanwhile, Russell can swim, but couldn't climb a step stool. You have to use the character's specific abilities throughout the level in order to progress. For example, there might be a cliff where only Carl can go, but it's blocked by a waterfall, so Russell has to swim over to a lever and cork it up.
Now this game spans only 6 levels, but before you jump on that hate train, keep in mind, these levels are huge. Ginormous even. Maybe even a little too ginormous.
This level alone took nearly 20 minutes. I can get car insurance faster than that. I'd understand levels that long on a home console, but for a portable system like the DS, most of these games are supposed to be bite-sized little bursts of entertainment. Take, for example, New Super Mario Bros., a smash hit on the DS. These levels took anywhere between 2 and 3 minutes, perfect to crank out in between stirs of craft. And then we have Up over here, taking 20 minutes. These levels are fine. I never found myself getting bored with them, but they could have easily cut these courses down or split them up into separate levels at the very least. But it's fine, because the game controls super well. I never knew Ed Asner would control so well on the DS.
I'm Ed Asner.
The characters feel responsive and the platforming is pretty tight. The only complaint I really have is with some of its gimmicks. There are these stylus mini-games that appear when performing specific actions like pulling a lever or cranking a wheel. I had a heck of a time with some of these. They're oddly strict on the movement of the stylus, so the lever would slip out from under the pen constantly. This game looks great for the system. These low-poly models do a fantastic job of representing the characters. The environments look incredible, even the enemies look great. So great, in fact, I'm contracting PTSD. And the music is a textbook example of great DS music, utilizing the limited hardware to make some catchy tunes of that classic style. Here, take a listen.
You can have a game that controls well, looks great, and has an awesome soundtrack. Doesn't matter if the gameplay sucks. That's right, I'm looking at you, Arms.
So what does Up have to offer in its gameplay department? These levels feature the co-op platforming like I've said, and I think Up pulls it off well. It's not revolutionary or anything, but the puzzles are easy to understand and satisfying to complete. Well, if that's all there is to this game, then where's the challenge? You are timed in these courses, but aren't under a time limit, so instead all of the urgency comes from this bar right here. This dog meter represents how close Muntz's dogs are to you. Now, who is Muntz? The game doesn't explain that until like the last level, but come on, you saw Up DS on the store shelves, you know what you were getting into. If you run and jump too much, these dogs will get all bothered and tear you to shreds for all, what, a bird? The difficulty of these fights is determined by slots, and I can't be the only one who sees this gambling trend on the DS. To deter the dogs, you can use one of Carl's power-ups, namely his hearing aid. These power-ups are neat. Carl and Russell each have their own arsenal. Carl's gadgets consist of his cane, used for whacking enemies, his hearing aid for stunning or scaring away dogs and refueling the meter, a balloon used to snap man-eaters shut or carry dogs away, and a picture of Ellie giving Carl a brief period of unlimited stamina. Russell, on the other hand, has a net for collecting bugs. I did this in the first level and never again. Flippers, used for higher speed in the water sections, a trumpet to stun enemies, and a frying pan to attack and fly.
Yeah, makes sense.
They each have their own companion as well. Russell has Kevin as a noble steed, while Carl has Doug as a digging and attack machine. All these gadgets are tied to a stamina bar, so cane spamming won't ensue. This adds a bit of strategy to the dogfights as you have to find an opportunity to attack in between energy refills. Speaking of fights, there are boss battles after each and every stage, and they range from, oh hey, there's a rabid dog, to nightmare fuel. Carl and Russell have to fend off a single dog, a jaguar, a panther, crocodile, a World War II biplane, partake in an aerial dogfight, and take down Muntz himself. These boss battles are alright, and a few of them are cheesable, but there isn't anything outright bad here. Even the dogfight was a fun little diversion from the dirt sniping boss battles. In terms of extras, this game has... I think I'm done here. 5 minigames inside of a licensed game. Let's see what they have to offer. Of course, we are rating these on a 3-point scale. Do you seriously think I wouldn't? Tepui Ball is Rock Pong, and this is one of the most bare-bone minigames I've ever seen. Insect Panic is one of those games you break your DS over. It's a pretty fun little romp. You tap on these beetles before the little meter runs out and see how far you can get. It gets full points, even if it's just this. Cave Collapse. Carl goes face to face with claustrophobia as he propels down this auto-scrolling cave. This is a pretty solid minigame too. I can see this as a Mario Party minigame. In Airlift, Carl faces anti-claustrophobia as he ascends a spiked cave using balloons. This one's okay too. It's a little harder to control as you have to use a stylus rather than the D-pad. Fine enough, but I'd rather just go back to Cave Collapse. Balloon Toss is just competitive breakout. I feel like they just gave up at this point. Up is so strange. It has everything going against it. Its licensing, its cheap minigames, and rancid resolution. But I'd be lying if I said I didn't have a genuinely good time with this game. Sure, it might be the nostalgia goggles I have on, but taking an objective look at it, I had some great thought and care put into it for being a cash grab.
Well, I've done it. I finally recovered from dying. Who knew licensed games could be so good? I wonder if there are any other licensed games that were not only good, but were critically acclaimed as well, featuring a little yellow sponge man who promotes war? Probably not.